What is going on, guys? Welcome to Dictate the Game podcast in association with Northman Media. I'm your host, Paul, also known as the Northman. Hopefully you are looking forward to tonight's podcast. Now, there is four of us here this evening. There's myself. There is FM Tahiti. Welcome, sir.
Hello, everyone.
Thank you for joining us. We have Ben. Thank you for coming along, Ben, from the dictatethegame.com website. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for hosting.
That's okay. Someone had to step up. And we also have a guest. Now, I've run out of people, mainly because Dom dropped us in it. So I went to the man who doesn't have a life, the man who I knew would be free, GWFM from YouTube and Twitch fame. Hello, sir.
How do? I don't know how to feel about that introduction, but, you know.
Well, I mean, I called you famous, so I didn't just insult you.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for having us.
It's all right. I mean, we've got to keep you busy on the evening.
Oh, aye.
Give you something to do. Now,
off the streets.
This is the first one on SoundCloud, iTunes, and hopefully Google Podcasts, if I can work out how to do it. So if you are listening on any of them platforms, thank you very much. And make sure you do go and check out the website, dictatethegame.com. If we don't plug it at least 10 times, Ryan doesn't pay us. So that's two, I think.
If we plug it more than 10 times, he still doesn't pay us.
Oh, no. I've got it in writing.
Nice.
Not for all of us, just for me. But still, it's still nice. So, G, as soon as you are the guest... You are the guest of the evening. I want you to, in 60 seconds, which I'm not going to time, so you could drag it out, I want you to describe who you are, what you do, and why you're here.
I just reminded me of an Annie line that, who is your daddy and what does he do? That's all I can think of when you said that then. But yeah, basically, I am GWFM. I did used to do YouTube. I did transition over to Twitch, mainly because of family commitments. Having a young one basically took all the time away basically for doing the editing. But yeah, having a good time on there since. What have I been doing recently? I've been basically, well, the most recent thing I did is a charity stream, which I managed to raise £260 and 50p for CAM, which is Campaign Against Living Miserably. So I was really proud of that. It was a 12-hour stream jobby. And yeah, that's pretty much me, really. I'm just very easygoing. I don't take anything too seriously, basically. And yeah, that's about it, really. Less than 60 seconds. There you go, mate.
I think it was actually less than 60 seconds, to be fair. But you've got to sell yourself better. So the charity stream, I came along. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, you did.
I did donate.
Thank you very much.
Were you there, Ben?
Oh, no, I was just asking. So you watched it for the whole 12 hours?
Oh, no, not that dedicated, Ben. I said I was there. I didn't. I said, actually, I think I said I came along. Jesus. No, I mean, at least 12 minutes.
You were there for about an hour,
I was there quite a while. I can't remember why I had to leave, but I did have a genuine reason to leave. It wasn't just I got bored. So I'm not a total pest. And I did donate my last £5 from my PayPal account. So
yeah. In
terms of dedication, I feel like I get at least a 2 out of 5, I would say.
Maybe 2 out of 10.
Solid 5 out of 7.
I tried, all right? I mean, Ben didn't even know who GW was.
I didn't even know what you were.
You know the rest of us, mate.
Sorry, Ben, if I'm going down, I'm taking you with me.
Started.
So, you what, sorry?
I just looked at it like half an hour before and thought, who the hell is this?
Yeah, well, sorry, next time I'll put my name in full.
My ignorance.
It's okay, I mean, this just shows that there's a massive gap between bloggers who obviously are from the 90s and us content creators who know what a camera is and a microphone. So we obviously we've got to bring it together, and that's why, like, it's going to be a good fit. I mean, we've got to bring the people like FM Samo and bring him into the 21st century and stick him in front of a camera. That's obviously...
we just wing it, don't we? That's all.
Exactly. I was going to say, I mean, you go through some of the posts, and I mean, I remember why I stopped doing FM Central now. It's a lot of bloody work. That's why I promised Ryan one post for FM20. And He has to
just
accept
the
it.
one.
Just the. It's going to take me all year to write it. I didn't promise when it would be released. Can we just confirm this? So, yeah, as this is the first podcast going back on the SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Podcasts, I'm saying them three again. I mean, there's a chance it's not on half of them. I wanted to kind of talk about just quickly about the plan going forward. So going into FM20, we are going to have a very big community section, and that will be obviously linked strongly to the website as well as what we're seeing within the community. So if you do have favourite people within the community who you enjoy to watch, read, listen to, make sure you do comment below wherever you are listening to this, and we will make sure we do promote people each week. But the first discussion for this week's podcast is the discussion of promotion. Not promoting Pill's content. See? That in my head, that was funny, alright? So we all achieve promotion at some point in an FM save, even G. And I've just won promotion with Brentford on my YouTube save back in the Premier League. So second time in 4 seasons we're going back up there. Hopefully it goes better than last time. Don't say anything, G. So fingers crossed on that one. I want to discuss how you guys handle promotion. FM Tahiti, we're going to start with you just because I know you weren't expecting me to come to you.
Yeah, keep me on my toes.
Exactly. Keep you ready. So I'm giving you a team. You've just won promotion to the Football League from non-league. So you're going from a semi-professional to a professional status. What are the things you would do over the summer? Is there anything specific you would focus on?
Sounds like my kind of level. Go non-league to league, and then probably really quickly back down to non-league after this, no matter what I do.
Give us tips and we'll make sure we don't do it.
Yeah, do the opposite of everything I say from now on. I normally try and get lots of really young players in because the standard of player I'm going to get is going to be rubbish anyway. So I at least want some players I can turn a profit on. And best case scenario, I get some, good young quick players in that keep us up, and then I sell on. Worst case scenario, I've got some cheap players who I will just get rid of, and then in the cull the next year. But I tend to look more at the kind of physical and mental stats. I know I'm not going to get any kind of properly technical gems. There's going to be no Maradonas in the side, well, apart from maybe their off-the-field habits, depending how much I'm paying them. But I normally go for stuff like...
Just team of smackheads.
Yeah, just get stuck in. Really easy to keep motivated. As long as no one's asking any questions.
So
there's no drug tests in FM20 as far as we know, so it's all good.
That's the feature announcement next week. So
just marching powder everywhere.
Do you know, I'm not going to lie. I'm being optimistic, thinking they're going to release a feature next week. Going into what you said there about signing a lot of young players, is that... See, for me, that sounds a good idea. One of the reasons for that is if you do get relegated, a lot of them young players aren't going to request to leave. So if you sign players you think maybe in 5 years ago be really good for League 2, if you bounce back down to the National League, you might not have a lot of angry players within your team. Is that one of your thought processes behind that?
Yeah, it's easier to keep them in line. So when you have those kind of rebellions, I think generally, this is my experience, but you find it's the older players, the ones who are actually, genuine team leaders. They're the ones who are kicking off. They're the ones who've got their careers to think about and want to move on. The young players will sit around for an extra season or two. You've got a little bit of breathing room.
Want to get stoned, don't they? I mean, like you said, the team of Maradonas. So, Ben, when you are in control of a team which gets promoted, apart from going down FM Tahiti's route of the signing of the younger players, is there anything you focus on? Do you check out who you're going to be up against and adjust your tactic, or what do you do in that situation?
Everything that FM Tahiti does, and I know what I really do. I probably end up just doing what I always do and getting like 30 players from South America and loaning out half of them, and then seeing where I'm left with a team basically, and then finding a crazy tactic that works. But it does require quite a lot of thought, and I always absolutely fill my staff capacity. That's what I always do. Um,
So would you say
uh,
that's your go-to thing, is to assess your
I have
staff?
experience from like non-league to league, but I have experience of getting promoted from the Championship and then going to with West Brom, because that's always the team I start with, and then going to the Premiership and doing very well. Not like a very reactive manager.
Just kind of go with it and see what happens, almost. But like you said,
Yeah.
though, if you're doing your staff and making sure it's filled up, you're putting a lot of faith into your staff, which is it's important, especially if you do go up.
Yeah. What do you do?
I mean, for me, the biggest thing for me is when I win promotion is to, in a normal save, this Brentford save is really not a normal save for me. It's definitely more of a bit of fun to end FM19. But in a normal save with FC United Manchester on previous YouTube series, obviously going to that 30 seasons point, and GW in your long-term save you're doing now will be the same. One of the biggest things you've got to do when you win promotion is build for relegation, if that makes sense. And I don't mean just go, okay, we're going to go down, but you've got to make sure the players you sign have the relegation release fees in them, have the relegation wage drops in them, so you're not stuck with a player who you know is going to be unhappy if you do go down. But also, almost like FM Tahiti, sign players who, if you do go down, they're not going to unsettle a team, and you do have a chance to bounce back up. But also, when I do win promotion, the first thing I do is calculate how much income I'm going to make from the division above. And then you've got to decide, okay, this, I'm going to be bringing in £5 million extra next year, but my expense is going to be £3 million more, so I've got about £2 million to play with. Then you've got to work out how much that is on wages, how many players you can bring in. There's a lot of detail, and that is maybe a post for FM20G.
Yeah, I mean, in my experience, I mean, obviously you were there for the time when I got relegated from the Panorama National League North.
I
back down
wasn't
to
going to
Tier
bring it
7.
up. I wasn't going to bring it
Yeah,
up.
but basically this is because I listened to you when it went wrong.
No,
basically.
no.
Yeah.
I was overspending. The chairman kept pumping money in. I don't know where getting money from. Maybe he was selling the drugs to heat his team.
Just keep that on the wraps.
Yeah, but basically, yeah, kept pumping money in, and I thought I'm gonna have to, because I was struggling and thinking we're gonna get relegated here. I don't know what's gonna happen regards to finances. So, but Paul was saying, "Oh, what you need to do, your wages are too high. Even though they were like on 200 quid a week, it was like too high." Now, one little thing that I found, especially non-league, I mean, obviously you're on about the promotion, but this is promotion within like the non-league, is like a little trick that I found by accident, really. If like players, they weren't interested in joining you, if you left it and just kept like tabs on them, eventually they'd be willing to join you on a non-contract. Now, I found, like, if say it were 300 quid a week, 300 quid a game, sorry, you could offer a contract for like a third of that. So it'd be like 100, call it 110 at a push. You could get that player paying just like per week. So like if they had 3 games in a week, instead of paying 900 quid, paying like obviously 110 quid, call it. So that's how I managed to make my way back up. And then obviously I ended up going into the Football League eventually. And then from there, my go-to is just like abuse the loan system. That's what I did. I got loanees from like teams in division above or 2 divisions above sometimes. And for some reason, I just got them in the key areas. Like I think I'd never go for a goalkeeper because I think it's a waste of a loan, in my opinion. And I think I got 2 strikers, 2 wingers, and 1 centre mid. That's where I normally focus on, because I tend to play with I try to play like attack is the best form of defense. It's a little bit different from like Northman. I mean, he's right. I did exactly the same. I did exactly the same as you with regards to relegation release clauses, though. Absolutely key, to be honest with you, that, because if I've had 2 relegations. I've been going 17 seasons. Just it's Ossett United. It was a brand new team. It's a local team to me. That's why I chose them. Basically, starting tier 8 and I've worked my way up. But like I just said, we've had setbacks on the way. most recently in the Premier League. We got into the Premier League after breaking the record for the most points and been narrowly off the most goals as well. I'm thinking, we're set for strikers and stuff like that. Big mistake. I felt a bit cheated. I only got given 24 million, but for going into the Premier League, which normally it's about 33 from every other game I've ever got promoted with whoever. And basically, I could only strengthen like the defense, and the defenders just weren't good enough. And that's what I found was a problem, is because I was so low reputation, I couldn't get good enough players first time of asking. Whereas the second time of asking, I could. But that's another story. Anyway, I'll stop waffling.
Good. It was a good waffle.
Yeah.
So I think if people are looking for some extra help on gaining promotion, if you're on that final little journey on FM19, make sure you do head over to dictatethe.game.com. There is a guide to adjusting to promotion you will find on the first page by FN Vars, and that is promotion plug number 3 for dictatethe.game.com. That's number 4. Nailing this one. I'm absolutely nailing it.
Keeping a record.
Honestly,
Keeping
I'm
a record
going to
for
count
Ryan.
all the way through. I'm going to count. And I'll just message Ryan later just saying 9. Nailed it. Actually 10. Damn it.
You need 10. You need 10.
I know. Make sure we just throw a few in at the end. So the next topic I want to talk about is, as we get close to FM20, sorry, not 19. What do we think people seem to struggle with FM19? And what do we think our viewers, our readers, our listeners want to hear about? I think one of the key things, and I think we're probably going to look at maybe a podcast special as well as the post, is the financial control of things, because a lot of people in the lower leagues really do struggle financially. Right. And it is, without a shadow of a doubt, I would say, probably my most enjoyable period is when I'm in the low leagues and I'm balancing the books, and we've discussed this, how a lot of my ideas have changed throughout FM19. From posts that I had put together for FM17, FM18 on Passion for FM. That was a dark period. Let's not discuss that. Moving on to FM20, I feel like there's a few tweaks in terms of the way you negotiate the contracts as well, G. I'm going to definitely take some of that. So that is something I'm going to look at for FM20, is the finance side of things. Is there anything like you're seeing people struggle with FM Tahiti, which you think a guide coming into FM20 might be useful?
I think being selfish, aside from the finance stuff, because I love the finance stuff, personally, I really struggle with recruiting keepers that are actually decent. And I think you see it in a lot of... Yeah.
Sorry.
Just is pretty much the same. But I think you see a lot of people do it on like streams and on YouTube as well. It's that kind of, we're going to just score more. Instead, I do the same kind of thing as G as well, just go for attack. Because getting a good keeper, I can find the ones that look good, but they don't play particularly well.
But so it's just a match engine, to be fair.
It could well be, yeah. But I struggle with that, and I think actually I'm going to get a plug-in for you as well. You can claim this one if you want.
I'm going to.
Ben's got an article on Dictate the Game about defensive width, and I also struggle with width. And I think a lot of people struggle with understanding when and where to use it. So I think I'd like to see more of that, because it's when you see people doing it well and you've got that kind of reasoning, that really helps me. But yeah, just a good keeper would also do me. That'd be good.
We'll fix a guide for how to find a good keeper. It involves playing in 2D. Otherwise, no keeper obviously will be good. Ben, moving on towards FM20 as a writer on dictatethegame.com. I think that's 6. Is there any guides you've already made a note of that you want to do for FM20, which you think people are struggling with on FM19? Obviously, with the amount of time you spend on Twitter, you've obviously seen a lot of people struggling.
Usually, I more think of what am I currently doing really well before I think of what is everybody else struggling with. So it's difficult. That's usually what I write about. But what could people use? I think people can always use guides on like some of the same things, like how to on FM19. Everybody, if you looked at every single forum, people would complain about their strikers not being good enough or not being able to score. So I could just write loads and loads of articles that are just variations on how to do build up, or how to do overlaps and things like that. It'll probably be the same for FM20, is my guess.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people, which I think a lot of it is expectation. Expectation. I mean, I've said this for years now, just going back to non-league and about promotion and stuff, is people will take charge of a team which have a media prediction of 19th. The board expect you to battle against relegation. And they quit the save after one season because they didn't win promotion, and they've I didn't go up, so I stopped playing that save. It's the same with my strikers not scoring. Oh, well, how's he done? Oh, well, he's got 7 assists and 5 goals in 20 games. Oh, who are you? Oh, I'm Burnley. And it's like, well, that's not that bad, really. If he's assisting in games, that means potentially 12 of the 20 games he's done something in it. A lot of it is expectation from people. Now, FMT, you did touch on the defensive width post by Ben. Now, this is something I wanted to just have Ben just explain to people, just to sell it to them for why should they go to dictatethegame.com, that's 7, and go and check out the post, Ben.
Okay, well, to start with, you can actually click on it from the website now. I mean, the first time I put it up, it was like completely black and I couldn't click on it, but sorted that out. From what I remember of it, I mean, it was written quite a few weeks ago. It was intended for the FM site, but when I looked over it, I found it quite helpful because it had lots of video examples of what I'm talking about. I like to be quite specific and not exactly abstract, which I think helped my articles get quite a lot of views. There's also more than one opinion in it because also Sam played quite a big part in writing it.
I mean, we did tell you didn't have to plug Sam. I mean, Ben, you've just shown so much loyalty there. If me and GW did a post together, I guarantee you wouldn't promote me. So I'm impressed. But Ben, within the post, obviously you talk about defensive width. Now, a lot of people misunderstand what the defensive width is. So I don't want you to obviously give the whole post away. We want people to obviously go to the website and check it out. Missed a chance of a plug.
You've got to pace yourself.
I know. Got to take my time. I've got 2 more topics to throw 3 plugs in. That's doable.
Was it, Nathan?
You what, G?
Which website was it?
It's dictatethegame.com 8. But Ben, when I'm winning a game 1-0, for example, one of the biggest things I look to do is narrow my width. And the reason behind that is both my central defenders have over 15 for jump reach. And they also have really good anticipation. So I know that if I allow the opposition to put that ball wide, if they try to cross the ball in high, the jump reach of my defenders is 9 times out of 10 going to be better than the jump reach of the attacker. Now, yes, one of my defenders has a square head, so it does go in different directions, but he still wins that header sometimes. So is the post based around helping people understand when or how to implement it? What exactly is it?
Yeah, I mean, the main underlying thing behind my part of the piece, what I discovered a lot through looking back at things that happened during my game, where I think I had a wide defensive width, was when the ball went to one side, the team went to that side. It wasn't necessarily that they were more spread out. It was actually that they just it was actually just a way of closing down really aggressively on that side, as opposed to just restricting space.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily a wide versus narrow thing. It's more of a defensive team's inclination to spread to press rather than restrict.
Yeah, I mean, I guess one of the biggest problems with having the wide option selected is the same as in general football. Obviously, coaching, you see that if you have a wide defensive width, you're just basically saying to their winger, there's the space cut in that gap. And there's the space. Take it, giving the attack midfielder a chance to play that killer ball between the fullback and central defence.
Yeah, there is there.
Obviously in Football Manager, it really does struggle to show that quite a lot of the time, but it's definitely a post I recommend people go and check out, because it might just make you think at that 60-minute mark, or even early on in a game, right, I need to make sure when I'm making these tactical tweaks, when I'm going attacking, when I'm going defensive, how do you want to start? Do you have your goalkeeper distributing the central defenders? If you do you want your fullbacks to get wide? Do you want them to be as wide as possible, so as soon as your central defender gets the ball, he can then select which fullback he's spreading it to next? So moving on to design your final FM19 game. Now, obviously, we are expecting in about 6 or 7 weeks Alpha to drop, potentially, maybe 8. I mean, maybe 9, maybe 2. Let's be honest, we have no idea what's going on. We're pretty much just guessing when FM20 is going to be out. But if you don't have a life like G, you can get 2 or 3 seasons in before FM20 beta comes out. So what saves could people be maybe looking at doing to fill this short gap? If some people are waiting for FM20, but they've got that FM19 urge, G, 2 or 3 seasons, so you can't be starting below the top flight, I don't think. So you've got to have a save which is fun, but maybe a bit challenging. Do you have any recommendations, G?
The only thing I can think of, because I reckon FM20 is going to be inundated with Bolton saves and maybe Bury. Maybe with the the updated databases, it might be have like a bit of a trial run. I think if I was to start, I mean, I'm not going to be able to, obviously, but if I was to start, I think if people are most likely going to be doing that sort of save and they've never done one with regards points deduction, and like Bolton, I know they're signing about 9 players of the day, but you know, if they want to try a challenge, I think there's no bigger challenge than that. I remember back in 2007-8 season, Leeds had a minus 15 points, and that was quite possibly my favourite ever challenge on any Football Manager. Trying to get, because being a Leeds fan, of course, you know, trying to get us firstly out of the minus 15 mire, but then it was possible, like they nearly did in real life, to get promoted as well. So that was the big challenge, really, and that's sort of save that I might think it might be doable, maybe 2 seasons, something like that.
I mean, you can check that out. Get the FM editors.
Yes.
Database. You can find him on the FM Editor 85, I think it is, on Twitter is his handle. Obviously, Ben, as a avid Twitter user, will know that. FM Tahiti, what save would you recommend for just a 2 or 3 season burst to end FM19?
Well, first of all, as a Huddersfield fan, any season where Leeds got point deduction would be a fun save for me. But as that's not the case for any of this, what I like to do is I like to go to a league that's a bit weird, that I've probably not played before, and has a short season, so I can kind of cheat and get more seasons sort of fitted into that time. So quite often, Scandinavia or Asia, they'll have maybe like a 30-game season, which doesn't sound that short, but that's probably about, you know, a third shorter than, say, a championship season or premiership season when you put all the games in with the cups and whatnot. So places like Malaysia, Indonesia, I was going to say Sweden, sometimes it's quite fun. So I've had some fun there. Finland as well. And you can really cram something in, but also still be top flight. So you can still do the whole, I'm going to try and get into Europe.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a challenge because you're still going to be a minnow in comparison to everyone else.
Yeah,
you can even do it with things like Wales, where they've got a few more games, but you can still play in Europe without having to worry about the kind of relegation threat. You can be a big fish in a very tiny pond.
They charge TNS, you can just holiday most of the season.
Yeah, pretty much. So I've had some good saves in Malaysia, some good saves in Finland and Sweden. I had a couple of games ago, I did one in Norway as well.
Way.
Yeah. Didn't go well, but I did it.
Well, good effort.
But yeah, well, not even that. But
yeah.
So yeah, I like to do that, just squeeze more in, because long seasons take a lot of investment. When you know you've got to you've only got 2 or 3 seasons, and each one's taking you a long time, and you know that FM20 is around the corner.
So
It's hard to
basically,
invest in
don't
that.
go to Brazil and do like 80 games.
Yeah, just leave South America alone.
Yeah. So Ben, what about you? What would you suggest for people?
Not to say, what kinds of goals do you see in those countries? 'Cause I remember my brother used to do games like that, and just used to see stuff like goalies getting injured and then walking the ball into the back of the net. I don't know if that still happens.
Yeah, pretty much, and it's beautiful. Have you? Ben, you might probably, because you're on Twitter a lot, seen the 90s crap football Twitter account, which is just video clips of 90s hoofball in like muddy video, and it's basically like that, but with FM keepers.
But I kind of feel a little bit let down that Ben doesn't seem to have that a lot on his save.
I have seen one where somebody had a throw in, and then the goalie just touched it and palmed into the net, so it was almost direct from a throw in, but it was an own goal.
I mean, I'm glad you're getting a little bit. I mean, me and G are experiencing this daily. I feel like Sports Interactive are now just pressing a button when they see us online. They just say, "Yeah, screw the goalkeepers."
Non-league is a gold mine for how.
Yeah. But come on, Ben. Where are you sending people for their final FM19 save?
I'll sort of say that the only thing I know I'm going to do is continue my current save because like it takes so much time when you're used to like building everything around having a worldwide scouting system and having making money every season from loans. It's very difficult to start a save again. And but if I was starting a save again, where would I want to go? Probably West Brom. But if I wasn't going to West Brom, I would probably try one of those leagues maybe that Pelham talked about. I can only second that, really.
I mean, it was a good suggestion by myself.
So far, you're leading it until I come in and just knock it out the park.
What are you going to do then?
Anything but the MLS. I mean, that's what Luke and Ryan would talk about that, but I wouldn't ever want to try that.
Yes! Right, you ready? So, what I would suggest is there's always that one league which people just don't want to really manage because it's like don't really understand what's going on, don't really get it. But
is that the Norwegian 8th tier?
Brutal. But
sorry, mate.
It's alright. It was the 7th tier I was managing.
7th. I can't remember.
Screw the 8th tier, you know. Them amateurs. I honestly would suggest just giving the MLS a go. Because you can't do more than 2 or 3 seasons before you think, screw this, it's shit. So,
I've had enough of the witchcraft. That is the transfer system.
One of the biggest problems in FM18 was the draft system just didn't seem to work properly in FM. Like, there was specific drafts where certain types of players should appear, which it just wasn't happening. So that ended one of my saves after a year and a half. With Philadelphia Union on YouTube, and do you know what? It mainly because it's something completely different. It ended up being something kind of enjoyable, and I think if the draft system was working, which it is in FM19, I think it would have been kind of fun to take charge of someone like LA Galaxy or Los Angeles FC and have Carlos Vela or Zlatan, and just. You've got a chance of winning a title. You've got a chance of getting into continental competition. So you could end up getting into the FIFA Club World Cup. You could do it all within 3 seasons. So you've got 2 or 3 seasons. In that time, you could basically win every competition available to you, which is something you can't do with Bury. Jesus, gee. So, I'm sorry.
A prelude to next year.
Get out. So, moving on to the final part of this podcast. I know what you're thinking. I wish it was longer. I know you're thinking that. Right.
That's what she said.
I was waiting for that.
Wow. FM Tahiti, this is where you are going to step up, take centre stage, and tell us what is coming up on the website next week on dictatethe.game.com.
Oh, there we go. I was going to try and get in before you got one. Right then. So I've been doing my research, and by research I mean I asked everyone.
Brilliant.
And I got a range of answers. So obviously this week when this one's gone out, there's the article by Ben and Sam, because he's staying loyal. there's an article by me. It's coming out
Brilliant.
Friday.
What's that guy called again?
Oh, who's that guy? And I can't remember what the other article was.
Excellent.
It's easy. I'll find it. I'll just actually go on to dictatethegame.com because it's really easy. It's very nice. Nice looking.
That was smooth.
It was.
It wasn't that smooth because I still can't find the article.
G's gone so quiet. G, talk louder.
Me. Hello.
Is it me you're looking for? There's
Is
copyright.
it G you're looking
Damn it.
for?
Oh, good cover for me, guys, as well. That's good. And so Sam also had an article about the top 5 Italian sides to try. So that was this week. And then next week, we've got Luke, Ryan, and Ihor as well doing their articles. Luke and Ryan have decided to create a sort of air of mystery about their articles and have not said.
That means that literally means they have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah, air of mystery, clueless, one of the two. But obviously Ihor is professional, and there'll be another Roma blog as far as I can see. So he's got a Roma series where he's gone through some of these tactics, like his sort of tiki-taka 1-2 sort of tactics.
Excellent.
And he's got the kind of next installment on that to do with the kind of, I think it's the fun of playing in Italy. And it's a bit more of a kind of deeper dive into the Italian side because Sam, with his article on dictatethegame.com, has got like 5 you could choose from the kind of FM20 prospects. So teams like the kind of a couple of the ones you might expect, but also there's Barry in there as well. Some good choices in there, but Ihor's got his kind of Roma focus, and it means you can kind of read the series, go through, see what he's done before, join the dots there, and carry on the story. So that's what should be coming up. Luke obviously has finished his Mason series for the moment until in FM20 it'll be Mason Tokyo Drift, which we established in the last podcast. We're trying to force him to franchise that.
Fantastic. So at least the website's still going. It's ticking along, ready for FM20, when no doubt it's going to go absolutely mental. So bananas. Yes, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to continuing to be involved in the dictatethegame.com journey. Now I have tagged along, keep myself busy, as they say. So that's it for tonight's podcast. Hopefully people did enjoy it. I want to start by thanking Ben for coming along. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
FM Tahiti for your wisdom on the website as well as everything else. Thank you very much.
Well, thanks very much. It's fun as always.
And we've got to end by thanking our guests. It's always nice when someone takes time to come along. Our first podcast with me hosting after Don went to play badminton. Thank you for coming along, G.
No problem. It's an absolute pleasure to be involved in Dictate the Game.
I think we're well over 10 now, lads. Honestly, I think we're cashing in. We are.
I try keeping a straight face. I just couldn't do it.
I can't wait to see how much we're going to get paid. But
G, are you still collecting for your charity? Can people still donate to that?
Yes. Give me 1 second. I do have a page saved on here.
Brilliant. We'll fill. Links will be in the description for the charity if you do want to donate.
Yeah, I'll give you the link. I'll put it in the Discord now if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. But like I said, make sure, like FM Tahiti says, first off, are you still donating? Can people still donate to the charity?
Yeah,
yes, they can.
It's still open, yeah. Yeah, it's still open. It was, like I say, it's for Campaign Against Living Miserably. There was a tragedy involving a suicide in my family, which sparked it off. Well, it's not my direct family, but it's Alasta's family. But if I got married, yeah, you don't need to know all that. Basically, we are doing the, we're doing the Great North Run as well this Sunday. And if you ask me, am I in shape? If round it counts, then yeah, I'm in shape. I might die, so this might be the last time you hear from me. So yeah. Be nice knowing you all.
Well, at least you made an appearance. At least Ben got to meet you as well, which is nice.
Yeah. How do
But that is it. Thank you very much for watching. If you are listening on iTunes or Google Podcasts, please make sure you do go and leave a review. If you're listening on SoundCloud, go down, drop a like and comment below. If you're listening on YouTube, make sure you do go comment below. If you're listening on the website, go and comment below. I don't think I've forgot anywhere. I have been Paul, also known as the Northman. This has been the Dictate the Game podcast, and we will see